Hi, my name is Aja Hall, and I live in Troy, New Hampshire. I am here today. It's June 13th, and we are at a Black Lives Matter movement. And, I just want to let everyone know that this is more than just a movement. This is more than just coming here and saying, you know what, standing up for George Floyd. This has been going on for thousands of years, and we need to say enough is enough. We need to realize that we need to wake up and actually do something about it instead of talking about it. You need to actually be about it and stand with your brothers, with your sisters, with your aunts, with your uncles, and do something about it. And you know how that's going to happen? With education and change. We have to change the system that broke us to begin with. Do you really think that this America, this great America, was actually built on happy people's lives? No. You cannot be happy off somebody else's misery. This land was built on death. This land has caused nothing but death. And this land has continued to cause death. And we need to do something about it. We have to stand up and we have to stop. We need to unite and stand together and make sure that our local politicians know this. We need to make sure that the government knows our voices will not be silenced. We need to make sure that they know this is not a trend and that we will keep going until change happens. Because with change is responsibility. And we need to take the responsibility to teach our children that, you know what? You're not going to wake up with hate. You're not going to wake up and judge someone by the color of their skin. You're not going to wake up and say, you know what? I don't like that. Because that's not the way we are. As human beings, we're loving. Love comes natural. So keep the love. So stay tuned for November and beyond. Power to the people.
Yo, can you all hear me? Nice and good? We're gonna have some real speeches today? We can actually hear what everybody's saying? Hell yeah!
He's upset. Hi, my name's Alani Besson. A lot of you guys call me or know who I am. I used to live in Keene. I'm here today to kind of talk about my experience in Keene, my family's experience in Keene, because lately a lot of people have been asking me, they're like, well, Keene's so liberal, did you ever experience any racism? And that's a very ignorant question to ask. So I moved back to Keene, New Hampshire in 4th grade. I had previously been living in one of the most diverse cities in the world, New York City, where I went to school. And when I moved back, I was shocked that within my first day at Fuller Elementary School, I was met with microaggression comments, not only from my peers, but the teachers. I remember someone asking me if I was adopted because my mom picked me up. Newsflash, I'm biracial. And I remember my teachers, who fully had my transcripts, asked if I moved from the Bronx or Harlem. As my time at Fuller progressed, those microaggression comments turned into racism, that when reported by myself or my family was called bullying. There is a difference between bullying and racism. Because of this, I no longer felt beautiful and I no longer really felt proud to be Black. I saw my classmates, majority of them all white. They had straight hair and they seemed happy, and that wasn't their fault, but maybe if they'd been more accepting of me and didn't make it painfully obvious I didn't belong, I wouldn't have become so self-conscious. Maybe if the education system or their parents had taught them how, despite the injustices Black people have faced in America, we still have remained successful in our aspects, then maybe they would have been more accepting of me and my family. I felt like my body was wrong, my hair was wrong, I was all wrong, and I was only 10 years old. I started to become hateful and mean because I hated the color of my own skin. In middle school, I wanted to be right. Imagine wanting to erase the color of your own skin at such a young age. By the time I got to high school, I only knew 3 people of color at my school. One was my older sister, and the other 2 were the cousin sisters who I had known since birth. Because that's how it is. I mean, ask yourself how many friends you have that are white as a white person. I only had 3 friends that were Black. As my time at Keene High progressed freshman year, I was afraid to tell my friends that they couldn't say the N-word or couldn't call me the N-word, or I was afraid that if I didn't give them the pass, they wouldn't like me. I now realize that they never liked me if they felt it was okay to say that word or any comments regarding that word around me. I became whitewashed and I had forgotten who I was, and I had become the bully because I felt this unbelievable pressure to erase my identity. Thankfully, I found myself back in New York City for the summer when I was 16. I was at a summer intensive program that I had been accepted into, and it was very, very diverse. After class one day, I had this acting teacher who was a Black male, and he was very successful on Broadway. And after me and him had a conversation, he told me that my life mattered, that my voice mattered, and it should not only be heard within my performing arts community, but my own community at the time of Keene, my state, and the whole country. Because of this, I really felt proud to be Black, and I am still proud to be Black. And while I have so much pride in being a Black woman, I still fear for my life because of my peers, my teachers, authoritative figures. And it's like, if you're gonna hate me, just hate me because I'm a bitch, not because I'm Black. I am also extremely fearful of cops. But I'm equally fearful, as some of you in front of me today, that don't think all cops are bastards. All cops are bastards. When I say ACAB, or I yell ACAB, or you see a sign that says ACAB, I'm not saying that all cops are bad people. I mean that every person who chooses to be a cop is complicit in a system that is racist and devalues the life of people of color, specifically Black lives. Therefore, all cops are bastards. And if you don't agree with this statement, I ask you personally to please leave. Because if you don't see how the whole system is evil and cops enforce that system, then you stand with white America. And that's America with 3 Ks. you're not an ally for Black lives. You're here for your own personal propaganda, most likely an Instagram story or a Snapchat story. All cops are bastards, and I can say this with confidence because when my own father was brutally arrested in Concord, New Hampshire, because they were looking for a Black guy and pulled over the first one they saw. My oldest sister, who is white, and my mom, who is white and was the passenger in the car, was in the car as well. As the cops used aggression to put my dad on the pavement with his boot on the back of my father's neck, my mom cried for them to stop, that what they were doing was wrong. But not even my mom and my sister's white privilege could save my dad, because if you're white and you stand against the police, especially as a Black ally, you're the enemy now to cops as well. And not even 3 years later, the same police department maced my father so bad in our own home that we had to replace the carpets because his face print was left in them. My father is not a criminal. My father is educated. My father is a successful businessman, but he is a father first and a great one at that. He shouldn't have to live in fear every day because of the color of his skin. No one should. All cops are bastards, and this includes Keene cops. They are propaganda. They hear us, but do they see us? Do they understand us? Do our lives truly matter, and to what extent? We don't want you to hear us. In fact, we want you to stay away from the protests. You're not welcome. Don't take a knee with us when you won't hold a sign that says Black Lives Matter or say their names. You're missing the whole point. Don't take pictures with us so you can sleep peacefully at night thinking you've done enough. You haven't. You want to prove you hear us? Quit your job. White America, we've listened to you for far too long. It's time that you finally open up and listen to us and what we've been trying to say. You started white supremacy. It isn't Black people's jobs to dismantle it. Thank you so much.
Everyone. So I just want to welcome everyone for coming here and standing, uniting on a day like this. And I would definitely like to touch base on a couple of very important things that she said. So number one, this is not just about one Black life that we saw, that was televised and that was filmed and that was shown to everyone so that we could feel the heart, our heart and the pain in our heart. This is not just about the Black lives that are constantly being murdered every single day, that have been murdered for centuries and decades. This is not about that. This is about a system that has continued to keep Black people down. This is about a system and a generation that continues to repeat itself. History is repeating itself. Why is it that no one can honestly say Black lives are important? Why, when you say that out loud, do people want to look away? Because Black lives are important. We have a responsibility. Our generation, we cannot drop the ball. Yes, our ancestors have dropped the ball, and we need to pick it up, okay? We cannot drop the ball because we have too much to lose at this point, especially our lives, especially Black lives, especially female lives, because that's what's happening right now. We're coming together today, and yes, we're all standing, and we're standing proud, and we're standing strong. However, today cannot be the only day. Next week cannot be the only week. Next month cannot be the only month. We have to stand together all the time. Yes. So also what I'm saying is look to the person next to you. See who will stand with you when the time is right. See who will stand with you in the darkness of the night, goddammit. See who is standing next to you and know them and get their numbers, because those are the people that matter. Those are the people that's gonna back up Black lives. Those are the people that's gonna back up all lives, because we all matter. Yes, we all do matter, and I'm gonna throw that out there. But unfortunately, what are we talking about right now? Black lives. Because Black lives have been under attack. Like I just said, it's been generation after generation after generation. When is it gonna stop? None of us, this is none of our faults, but God damn it, we have to fix it. We cannot keep feeding our children hatred. We cannot same lies about what's really going on in this country. We need to look to our politicians, to our mayors, to our congressmen. God damn it, do something! Make something happen that is real. And to you, to the politicians who have not done anything, I say, our tears are the rain and you still don't feel it. Our cries and our screams are the wind and it passes you by. So when is enough going to be enough? When is your child? When is your brother? When is your sister? Huh? When will it be enough for us to wake up? And every single one of us today, look in the mirror when you get home and find your superpower. May it be making posters. May it be connecting with others. May it be, I don't know, making cartoons. But you do what you need to do to keep this moving. This is not a goddamn fad. This is not a Facebook story. This is love. And we stand here with love because it has to stop. Racism has to end. So all of you that stand here today, and you stand here proud, and you stand here in that fierceness, you keep it. And you don't stop. And when you see something going down, you grab that pride that you had and that fierceness that you stood here with today, and you use it. You do something about it to defend the people that you love, to defend your brothers, defend your sisters, defend your uncles, defend your neighbors. Because again, like I said, even though our ancestors dropped the ball, we will not. Because I'm going to pass it. I'm going to pass it to you guys and we're going to keep it rolling. So do not forget, this is not about one life. And yes, it is unfortunate that we had to witness that. However, this is about all lives, all black lives. All black lives matter. Power to the people. And that's what the people need. We need our power back. We need to make sure that the congressmen who have been in there for 14 years plus get out. We need to make sure that our mayors are doing what they're saying they're going to do for our community. We need to make sure that the education system is set up to help everyone, every single life, not just white lives. We need to make sure that the rainbow that we have continues to flourish and that you don't diminish one color because of the rest. You need to make sure of these things. And that is what we have today as a responsibility, to come together and make sure that we are keeping our message loud and making sure even though our cries have been silenced, our voices will be heard. So again, I ask every single one of you who will stand? Who will stand with me? Who will stand? Who? And you're not just standing for me. You're not just standing for your life. You're not just standing for the person next to you. You're standing for our future generations. Because again, we cannot put this burden on our children. Enough is enough. Pull it together, goddammit. We cannot let our children pick up the pieces over and over and over again. This is not a puzzle. This is life. This is something that is important to every single one of us because every life matters. And because every life matters, make a choice today and stand. Thank you.
Do is not speak. I started a minority empowerment club at Keene High School last year after we had gone through almost the whole month of Black History Month, and every day my mom asked my little brother in elementary school, did they say anything today about Black History Month? And same answer, no, Mom. Asked my little sister in middle school, did they say anything today about Black History Month? Same answer, no, Mom. They'd ask me in high school if I learned anything. No, Mom. And when the days we did have a yes, it'd just be about slavery. All we learned about in Black History Month is slavery. Not the amazing, intelligent Black people, but just slavery. And I just want to say that I'm really proud of everyone here today, and I'm so proud of our generation. We're awesome, and it's gonna take time and sacrifice, but I know for a fact everyone here is willing to do it, and we can obtain what we're trying to obtain. I'm 17, I can't word everything perfectly, but I can say Black Lives Matter, and the shit that's happening is not okay. And if you're not enraged, you're not paying attention. You are not paying attention. And I don't want to hear that I'm overreacting when I hear people saying the N-word. I'm tired of being in high school hearing it way too much. And you, all white high schoolers out there, adults, everything, you should be calling your white friends out on it when you hear it. Not looking to the Black person waiting for us to say something. It's your job to say something as well, because when we're saying it, we're the angry Black person. So you can do something about it too. And just like Alani said, growing up, even now, probably less than, I can count on both my hands how many Black friends I have here in Keene. And it's hard. I don't know how, if you could take a second and imagine being in a classroom, being the only white person, how you would feel. Because that's how I feel every single day, every class, being the only Black kid in my class, the only one. You guys would feel uncomfortable. And so you need to take into consideration that microaggressions are there and stuff makes us uncomfortable. And be aware of what you're saying. Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
So again, hello, I just want to let everyone know that this is an open mic, so if you feel like you need to come up and you have something to say, come up and say it, because now is the time. Everyone is here, everyone is listening, so do not let your voice go silent, because like I said before, everyone is important and everyone's opinion matters. So even the little young guys, if you have something to say, come up and say it, because now is the time. And you know what? When everyone's like, oh, it's not a good time, there's never a good time for anything in life. You step into it. You get to the point where you have progressed enough where you step into it. So mic is open. Thank you.
There was a lovely guy over there handing out note cards to know your rights with the police officers. Everyone should get one. But I want to point out the last bullet point was be polite but firm, and it said these are supposedly your public servants. If you feel intimidated by a police officer, they are not doing their job. And I just think everyone should think about that. And this is just very important. They're supposed to be your public servants, not making you feel intimidated.
Hello. I grew up in, I always called it, and this probably sounds insulting, but tighty-whitey, New Hampshire. I'm Native American, half Native American, and my grandmother was English, never wanted my folks to ever admit that we were Native American. So we never could grow up knowing that we were Native American. The grandfather had kind of left, and it was like that whole part of me was erased. I didn't have a grandfather. I didn't have anything. I just had the English, and that was it. I knew I was different. Especially in the wintertime, I'm looking around and everybody's kind of different complexion than me and stuff. And so I remember the teacher telling the people to be friends with me, my small school that I grew up in, and that though I was different, I was still human and that they should be friends with me. So they were friendly enough. Then I get in middle school. From middle school on, it was a nightmare for me. I was bullied. I was bullied so badly. I mean, there was very few other dark-skinned people around. I was mercilessly bullied. I was resilient that I was gonna stay in school. As I got older, it got worse, and the teachers joined in. So I never had any real support. The one family, we had one in 8th grade, were black people, and they got railroaded out of town. I know they did. In my senior year, we had a black guy, half black and stuff, and he was kind of, it was slowly coming around that it was okay to be who you were. I never understood the bullying. I didn't understand any of it. The guys would be bullying me, the girls were really bad, and I find out some years later that the girls are really jealous because of my skin color. I shouldn't have been separated like that. Not at all. I shouldn't have been. Not in 1970s, 80s, and 90s. You know, I graduated in 84. That should not have been happening. No, it shouldn't have been. I now have some biracial grandchildren that I'm scared to death for them. My biracial granddaughter went to school in the same bullying, even though there were black people around. She was mercilessly picked on and never understood why, and I see the same shit that went on with me going on with her. And at 8 years old, this shouldn't be happening. My grandchildren should not have to put up with this stuff, you know. I have my grandson has epilepsy, and he's a little slow, and it's just, it shouldn't happen. It freaking shouldn't be happening. It shouldn't be happening that, well, you're retarded because you're black. And that's what he was pretty much been told. His father was like, well, he's retarded because he's black. No, it's because he has major seizures and stuff. And they're not here in Keene, but when they first were here in Keene, my daughter and my son-in-law, she's very white, he's very black. People never accepted them up here. They ended up going down south where they were more accepted. Because they never were accepted up here. There was always the insults. They never fit in up here in Keene in the 90s. I'm sorry, but this is in the 90s. Keene became my refuge because there was a little bit more colored people up here. Keene politics don't accept biracials back then. I'm not sure what it's like now, but in the 90s, even then, it was like, it's very hard for the politics and the people of the city, the police and all of them to accept the biracial, anybody that's different, the queers, the LGBTQs, which are mercilessly, and I don't even imagine, I can't even imagine being black and gay in this time and age. This is going to be merciless. But for the love of God, I can't believe this is still happening. I mean, forever I cannot believe this is still happening. It happened to me. It was horrible. I am now living that I love myself. You know, I love who I am. I'm proud of my native, and I'm looking back and trying to find all my grandparents on my mom's side that I lost. And I'm like, I'm out there for this too because it's personal, because of my grandchildren. I don't want my grandchildren who are 11 and 8 and 5, 6 to have to go through this bullshit anymore. It can't. It's got to stop. It's got to. Somewheres it's got to stop. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm really nervous. I have a friend, and she is just about the sweetest and most amazing girl you could ever meet. And she went to my school for a little while, Keene Middle School, but she left after about 3 months because she was bullied for being black. And I couldn't believe it. I mean, how could this just disgusting racism come into a 7th grade classroom? it's terrible. I don't understand what's wrong with people, and I mean, it's 7th grade. You're young. Racism is taught. You're not born with racism. It is taught. And I just want to say, I'm not black, but I hear you. I'm not black, but I see you. I'm not black, but I will fight for you. Yes, you
Hi, this is like my second protest. I have friends who are black, and I have friends who are all colors. I have friends who are gay, bisexual, trans, anything, and it sucks that we live in a world that I can't talk right now, that we get judged about everything. Everyone judges. I know we don't think about that we judge, but we do, and it needs to stop. Like, I don't judge anybody. I never have, never will. But it needs to stop. The racism and the hatred needs to stop.
So really quickly too, I just want to touch on that because, you know, again, a lot of people say, you know what, this is not my fight, this is not my problem, I'm a child, I don't know what's going on. The hell you do. You know what your fight is and you know what you're doing. When you actually are dismissing someone because of the color of their skin, you know what you're doing. So don't make it seem like you don't. When you have a problem with the brown kid in the back because of their skin, you know what you're doing. So don't act like racism is not around. Just because it's very quiet and it's not talked about doesn't mean that it's not around. Okay? And I definitely connect on every single level. I connect with you too because I am Ramapo, I am Lene Lenape, part of the Ramapo Nation. So yes, I am Native. So yes, I connect on both different bases, both of the same basis. And yet it's continuing. So you know what? The next time you guys see something racist going on, do not look the other way. Stand up to it and tell them to shut it down. We are not racist. Be done with it. Because hatred feeds hatred. Do you guys know that's true? Hate feeds hate. War feeds war. So we need to come at this with love. And that's why all of us are here today. Because we have enough love in our hearts and enough determination to make change happen and to want to see change happen for the people that we love. So remember that. This is about love too. And this is about spiritual awakening because it is 2020, God damn it, and we will see. We have clear vision. Every single one of us is aware, and we will continue to be aware of the discrimination, of what's happening, of the racism of what's happening. Everyone needs to unite. And that is not just a Keene thing. This is not just a New Hampshire thing. This is not just a New York thing. This is a global thing. We have our sisters and brothers in New Zealand and in Germany standing for us, God damn it. So stand too. Thank you.
What if I hug you? What's that happy energy? God bless you. I'm not a public speaker, but this is so important to me that I'm going to try. I'm going to tell you about two experiences that actually happened to me. When I was in college, I was playing basketball. 15 guys on the team, 3 white guys, 12 black guys. We were in Jacksonville, Florida, which is like 75% black at the time. This is 45 years ago. We were in Jacksonville for a tournament. We were there on New Year's Eve. The coach says to the 3 white guys, he goes, oh, we'll get a case of Michelob. He was from the Midwest, so we'll get some Michelob and we'll sit in and watch college football while the guys go to the club, you know? I said, Coach, I said, I'm going with the guys. He says, you're nuts. He goes, you're nuts. He goes, I said, I want to experience what they feel like when they're here. I said, so I went to this all-black club with the guys, and I was scared, but not as scared because they were there and they're like 6'8", 6'5", 6'3", but I just wanted to experience that. And And afterwards, I heard that the coach was considering throwing me off the team. I didn't play much. I was just kind of the local townie. But actually, the guy stuck up for me, and I remained on the team. But I was afraid. And I know how you feel now, every single day. And then this one's even sadder. A friend of mine found out she was pregnant and she was going to be delivering a biracial baby. She prayed and prayed and prayed for a girl because she was just so afraid to have a biracial boy in this country. And she actually was going to terminate her pregnancy if she was going to be birthing a boy. And I cried about that, and it's just not right. And we shouldn't. Nobody should have to make these decisions. Nobody should be under pressure. Nobody should have to think, well, when I go out, when I go out for a jog, if I run too fast, somebody's going to think that I hurt somebody, stole something, they're going to jump on me, And every minute of every day, I don't know, I can't say I know how you feel because I don't, but I sympathize with you, and every person of color, and every ethnicity, and any other diversity, whether it's sexual, women get discriminated against, and I don't think our president's helping us much either. So, we'll bump you, but we won't trump you. Thank you, my dear.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will not hurt you.
Hi, I'm Adia Cousins.
Hi, Adia.
So I'm 13 and I go to Keene Middle School. So whenever we're talking about slavery and had to describe somebody, and everybody would always avoid the topic of black and white. And it's not racist to talk about being black or white, and they'd always say not to be racist before saying something about a black person. And so I think it's stupid because it's not bad to be black, and it's not bad to talk about being black. So I'd like to say that with everybody here, we all need to stand up for the black people in this community, even though there's not a lot. I have about one friend that I used to have. Well, I have two friends that used to go to my school, and one of them left because she was being bullied and people were using the N-word and it was not acceptable. Thank you.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Lynn. I've lived in New Hampshire. Sorry. I've lived in New Hampshire for a big majority of my life. So I'm really excited to see everyone here. It's really nice to know that this many people support this. But also I came up here because a few friends and I made a petition for police officers to get body cams in Keene. Currently in Keene, police officers have a budget of $7.8 million, and none of it is allocated yet. And none of it is allocated to body cams. Exactly. So yeah, we were the girls with the clipboards. If you want to come find us, and then we also have handouts. If any of you would like to contact your elected officials if you live in Keene, and then as well, sorry, last thing. On Monday, there's a public forum about racial justice. It's at 6, and the Zoom link is found on the City of Keene website. And just to let you guys know, there's 1 black person and 3 cops on the forum panel. So it'd be great to have, yeah, bruh,
And again, we appreciate everyone that is here, and I cannot stress, we have to continue unity. We have to keep this going. Like I said, if you're gonna stand with me today, you stand with me tomorrow. You stand with me next week. You stand with me next month. Because again, we have to change this. And it's not gonna stop, and it's not gonna end. You know why? Because everybody deserves equal rights. That's why. So if you want change to happen, be on top of that change. Know who your politicians are, know who the congressmen are, know who your The conscious choice to say we are not asleep. We are awake and we will stand. So realize this. Again, this is not a trend. Yes, one person did have to die in order for us to come together. But realize that millions have died. This land was built on death and blood. Okay? So if you're gonna say you're awake, you better awaken to everything. You better look in the mirror and realize your superpower. Because everybody has one. Like I said, everybody has one. And realize what you can do to make yourself better than the day before. Realize what you can do to help the people that you love defend themselves. Realize what you can do to help this process and to help Black lives further themselves. Because right now, there is no right now. There's no right now. Do it for your damn self. Do it for yourself. Make sure you know where you stand. And see, that's the thing. We need to have, you need to know what your truth is. What is your truth? Why are you here today? And why are you standing? That is what people need to realize. If you don't have a truth, don't hold the sign you don't know what it means, okay? If you don't have a truth, don't say you're gonna stand when you will not. So you find your truth and you use it every day. Realize what you stand for and don't ever step down. Thank you.
Hold on, really quick. I'm not speaking on anything. I just want to let y'all know, a lot of people have been asking about the shirts. They're only $5. They're super inexpensive, and we're using what we make off of it, which is like $1 or something, to make more signs. John Claire is around here somewhere. She did all the stenciling. Round of applause for her. She's been helping a lot with like the art, because we can be out here protesting. We're out here. I'm out here every day. A lot of my friends are, so if you see us, come join us. We always have extra signs. If you don't have one and we don't have any extras, it's all about the bodies. What you want to say, babe?
There's stuff to make signs right there in that bag if anyone wants to. That's there before any protest almost every day too. So feel free to.
Yeah, and thank you all for coming. I'm so proud of our town right now. This is the proudest I've ever been. And on behalf of, white people here, be okay to learn more. I consider myself very open-minded, and I learn something every day that makes me go, holy fuck, man, what the what? Like, yeah, so she's super intelligent. If you have a question or you're scared about something, just come and ask her. She might bite your head off if you have something stupid like a Nazi tattoo or something, but like, if you don't, come and ask her. She's super sweet, she's super nice, and you have to learn from the people that experience this, because I can't Google it and learn it, right? It's not something I can just Google and find out. Okay, but yeah, all the proceeds go to helping us, make signs, be out here. It's not for personal gain at all. And if you need a specifically sized shirt, all the larges sold out super fast, which is understandable, but we'll get more. So if you want to come and talk to me, I'm gonna make a list. We're coming out here every day, and we're trying to make this, this learning experience every Saturday. So let people know, get the word out. We can make fucking change, people. Come on now.
So I didn't expect to be up here speaking. I'm not comfortable right now. I feel incredibly uncomfortable with my white privilege. I'm just beginning to understand. I've raised 3 amazing children in this area, and all of them never ever grew up or told that, anyone should be treated differently because of the color of their skin. It was just never an issue. However, my daughter, my beautiful white, daughter, is teaching me so much about the difference between being a racist and being racist. So this is my sign, and I actually don't understand it quite yet. But I don't have to understand it. But I'm a mother, And I watched that video. Woo! And I know what it is to, I can only imagine what it must be like for the family of all the people that are dying simply because they were born black. And I still don't understand it, but what I just want to say here as a white-haired older generation is that we have to learn. We have to stop saying, I have black friends, I love black people, I read my, you know, like, that's just not enough. I thought that was enough, and it's not. So I'm educating myself. There's all these books out there, white privilege, you know, growing up white. If you don't think this, then you are turning away. You're not being part of the solution. And I'm shaking right now, and I'm a performer. I speak all the time, but I've never been so friggin' scared because I'm afraid I'm gonna put my foot in it. I'm afraid I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm afraid I'm going to offend somebody. So I don't talk about it, and I pretend everything's okay, and I smile, you know? And I grew up in a racist family, and I'm gonna say something that's really ugly right now. My mother would say to me, it's too bad that these beautiful black babies have to grow up. That's what I grew up with, and no matter how much I try to erase that, somehow it's still in there, and it's my job to say it out loud, to be uncomfortable and talk to other people. I had to get together with somebody this morning because that's known me for like 30 years, and I was too afraid to talk to anybody else about it except for this person because he knows me, and he knows that, and I just had to cry. I said, I'm confused. I don't know how I think right now. I don't know what to believe, but I know that I need to be here. So please, let's keep showing up, not just today. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I'm not great when it comes to public speaking, but and this isn't about me, but like I never realized how privileged I was as a white kid until I started my transition and was transitioning female to male, and not until recently did I realize that like there are so many black trans individuals being killed. They're not able to live their lives. They're not able to be the people that they could possibly be because of the color of their skin. And just the fact that like I'm able to live my life and they don't have that option, and to be shown and to realize how many of them have died, have committed suicide, have been killed, I feel that it obviously isn't fair, but like this is the second rally I've been to, and I've made sure to educate myself, and I know that I am nowhere near fully educated when it comes to that. Yes, all Black lives matter, and like you said, that all lives matter, but right now we're focused on Black lives. To know that my community, at least the few trans individuals that I know, were not fully educated, that all trans lives also matter, including Black trans lives. Like, it's not talked about enough, I feel like. And I have never really spoken about it, and like I don't even talk about my transness, but now I have a reason to speak out and to educate other people, whether in the LGBTQ plus community or just general community, that like, if you're gonna support trans individuals, include Black trans lives. Like, they have the right, they're humans, they're people too. There is no difference. And just the deaths and the suicide, all of that needs to stop. And we need to take time to educate them, others, and just, they matter. And I am continually learning that on the daily, but I am thankful that I am able to come to these rallies and learn more, especially from you guys speaking. Just keep it going. Like, you are reaching all communities.
I just want to say one more thing, guys. So just to touch base, again, we need to realize that this is a generational thing. Generation after generation after generation has been facing the same oppression, has been facing the same exact racism, the same exact, It's nothing has changed. We cannot have history repeating itself. Never again. And you know what? This generation, my generation, our generation, we are to be reckoned with. We are not the ones. So continue, like I keep saying, continue to stand for change. Continue to stand for yourselves. Stand for your truth. Stand for what you believe in, and don't ever let anybody believe that it's less, because it's not. Don't go home and look in the mirror and wonder, what could I have done? Why didn't I do something? What can I have done more? Do more now. Be more now. That's what we need. Exactly, since 1916, this has been going on. 1916, thousands of lives, millions of lives. Millions of lives.
This is crazy. 2020.
Exactly. We cannot keep having sand pass through the hourglass like it is not, it's like it's invisible. Because us, like I said, we have too much to lose, especially our lives. So everyone needs to comprehend this. And if you don't understand it with your ears, understand it with your heart. If you can't understand it with your heart, understand it with your soul. Okay? Feel what other people are feeling, because that's what this is about. Everybody went through a certain amount of pain that's standing here today. If it's pain for yourself, if it's pain for other people, you've still been through it. And you know it's not okay. So don't make it okay. Don't continue the racism, okay?
So here's a shocking thing that really shocked me to the core. I have had several knee surgeries. I've had infections and almost died. And I was getting transfused with blood one day, and the nurse came in, and I was a nurse once. Still, I guess you're born died, but she was visibly shaken, and I was the one that, well, they're not supposed to talk to, but you know, I was sister in arms. And I asked her what was going on, and I knew she was very upset. She's like, I'm having a really hard time. She's kind of shaken, and I'm like, well, first of all, I'm thinking, God, you're going to transfuse me, and you're shaking like a leaf. No, I don't think I want you here, but we were talking, and she's like, the woman, there was a person in the next room, and the first thing we explained to her that we had to transfuse her for her life and for her to live, and go through the thing. And then she said, this person wanted to know if the blood in that bag was white or black. What the fuck, right? I'm like, when I get menses, it's school, college. Taking the skin off and a skeleton, you don't know. We bleed the same color. We are the same color. Inside, we are the same color. We always been. God said not to judge people. Everybody was made same color. We're all the same color underneath. And I just was taken aback, but I love that nurse. She was a young nurse, and it was like, amen to her. She stood her ground and said, look, life-saving blood. You imagine, though, being asked. It just blew my 2020 and being asked, is that black or white?
Hi, my name is Ananda Montley. I am a mixed race person. My dad is an Afro-Latino man. He's from the Dominican Republic, and and my mom is a white woman who has also done a lot of anti-racist work and is here today as well. And I think one of the things I just kind of want to touch on is like, this conversation is centered on police brutality, but how much there's, just this ubiquitous system of racism in all of the institutions, just everywhere. I remember when I was specifically dealing with things, when I would be called the N-word, or when I was, at one point, there was somebody who was threatening me because of the fact that I am a person of color and I'm a person of Black descent. And when I would bring that up to like people, for example, at one point it was in high school, it was more just placating me and like trying to keep things quiet than actually confronting, you know, the system that enabled people to call me the N-word. And yeah, I don't know, that experience has really shaped me, and I wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
Hi all, I grew up in New Hampshire. I've lived my whole life here. Words don't come easily to me, but this moves me. These people out here, all of you out here, moves me. I want it to continue to move you when you leave here, because this is beautiful. This community here together, this is love, this is power. I am a shy person, but when I'm here with you all, I feel stronger. I feel brave. It is a beautiful day. It's Pride Month. It's a beautiful day to remember the Black trailblazers that gave us our rights. It's a beautiful day to remember the successful, intelligent, beautiful, precious Black lives that have stood for us, and it's time for us to do the same. I am proud of this community. I'm proud of you, New Hampshire. I will never understand what it is like to be Black in America, but that doesn't mean that I can't stand with you.
Hi, I'll try not to ramble too much. I'm 67 years old. I just got to Keene 2 years ago on my retirement. I spent my entire life, I was born, raised, had a career and a family in a place called Silver Spring, Maryland, which is a very close-in suburb of DC. And as a result, my upbringing, my childhood, my young life included going down to the National Mall to demonstrate in favor of or against probably 24 different things. And I would observe, first off, that Central Square here feels to me like it's got some of the sacred ground aspect of the National Mall. I just know I'm standing where people stood against the Vietnam War, you know. Secondly, I want to tell the people who are in their teens and 20s right now, don't give up, don't feel despondent, don't feel like you're not getting anything done. You are being transformational. When I was your age, when I was your age, me and a million people like me kept Richard Nixon from dropping nuclear weapons on Cambodia. On people on bicycles he was going to use. We forced the EPA into existence. And you can too.
Yes, we can! Yes!
Absolutely. This is really unlike anything that has happened in more than a generation. 2 weeks on, more than 2 weeks on, and this is still going strong.
And we will continue to go strong.
Absolutely. The elected people at the federal level are scared of us right now. And they ain't scared of us nothing like they're going to be scared of us the second week in November of this year. They work for us, tell them what to do. Keep at it, keep making the good fight, keep getting into the press. Hello NHPR, thank you for being here. So that's all I'm saying is you're doing the right thing, keep it up.
Thank you, thank you.
really loud. Come on. I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous. It's okay. You can do it. Ready? One. Okay, you want to step aside? Tell me what you want to say. You can say that. Say it, scream it. Yeah. I'll say it with you. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Black Lives Matter!
That's right. Black lives do matter. That's right. Black lives matter. And again, just like he said, we are making change. Right now, we are creating history because they are scared. They're afraid of us. Because when we unite, we are powerful. When we unite, we are together. You may be able to stop one cry, but you cannot stop thousands of voices. You cannot dismiss them. So again, thank you for everyone that came today and for everyone that showed what they truly stood for. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know, because again, we are a small community. We are a tight community. And this today represented our tightness. It represented what we stand for and what we will not stand for in our community. So again, go look in the mirror and truly say what your truth is and what you need to do to keep this moving. Because again, we will not pass this burden to our children. We will not pass this burden to our children's children.